Hello everyone. Welcome to the course Applied Thermodynamics. We will continue with the fuels and combustion, under that flue gas analysis. Myself Sumit Bardia, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharath Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Yatra. Today we will cover Introduction to Flue Gas Analysis, ORSAT apparatus, flue gas analysis by probes and sensors and its measurement values, and last one, impact on efficiency and environment of the flue gas. Flue gas analysis, or it is also called as stack gas. Exhaust gas generated through combustion processes is called flue gas or stack gas. Its composition depends on the type of fuel and the combustion conditions. Example, the air-fuel ratio. The common fuels consist primarily of carbon and hydrogen with their compounds, and the flue gases resulting from combustion contain oxides of these elements and those of the impurities together with any excess air, and under some conditions evolved from the heated material. Many flue gas components are air pollutants and must therefore, due to governmental regulations, be eliminated or minimized by special cleaning procedures before the gas is released to the atmosphere. The exhaust gas in its original status is called raw gas. After cleaning, it is called as a clean gas. Here the pie chart is given of the components of flue gases, which consist of nitrogen, which around 77% is there, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, which is around 13%, oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, that is around 5%, hydrogen sulfide, hydrocarbons, hydrogen halides, hydrogen cyanide, dust, soot particles, they are in small percentage present in the air. So these are components of the flue gases. An analysis of flue gases gives evidence of efficiency of combustion and is a prime factor in controlling the operation for maximum results and in arriving at improvements in design. Flue gas analysis greatly indicates air to fuel ratio. It is very much important that we need to understand the proportion of air as well as fuel in order to get the flue gas analysis. It is often desirable to predict the quantity and analysis of the products of combustion to determine flue sizes and furnace pressure and to predict the magnitude of stack or flue gas losses. So wherever the flue gas released to the atmosphere, we need to analyze whether these gases are harmful to environment or not. So there are equations to permit the calculation of quantities of gases in the combustion products of gases filled either by volume or by weight. We have already seen the conversion of volume to weight, mass, weight analysis, or mass to volume analysis. The percentage to be submitted in all these equations are generally percentages by volume. Flue gas analysis is used both for efficiency and emissions purposes. Thanks to advances in electronics, it is now cheaper, easier, and therefore more common to monitor fuel gases. Due to tightening environmental regulations, monitoring may be mandatory. The instruments used for analysis can be inexpensive, small handheld devices that produce reasonably accuracy to larger permanently reasonable accuracy, or to larger permanently installed units that are capable of producing lab quality results on a continuous basis. The type of fuel analysis performed and the equipment required is determined by the four parameters, that is the primary need for efficiency, environmental regulations, or both, Will analysis be spot checked or on a periodic basis, or is continuous monitoring is required? What gases emissions must be monitored? What accuracy is required? The combustion process inputs are fuel and air, that we all know that. Therefore, the components of flue gases are primarily made of components of oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen and carbon. The components that are of interest because the efficiency are primarily oxygen and carbon. The components that are of interest from an environmental perspective are nitrous oxides, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide if the fuel source is oil or coal. So next we will go through the ORSAT apparatus which is used to measure the flue gas. The ORSAT was the environment of choice for performing flue gas analysis before the advent of electronic instruments. Although by today's electronic instruments you may still hear this name used generically to refer a flue gas analyzer or actually find one in use in the field. The original Bacharach test kit is a portable non-electronic device based on the concept of ORSAT for measuring CO and CO2. Bacharach now also refers several electronic instruments. The ORSAT analysis technique is a quick, simple and inexpensive method for volumetric analysis of the combustion products. An ORSAT gas analyzer uses a chemical absorption technique to determine mole fractions of CO2, CO and O2 in an exhaust gas. Since it cannot measure H2O content, the exhaust gas sample is cooled at atmospheric temperature, so most of the water vapor in the combustion products get condensed out. Therefore, the ORSAT analysis is treated as an analysis of the dry combustion products. The ORSAT apparatus also does not detect unburnt hydrocarbons and free hydrogen in the products. The ORSAT apparatus is shown in figure. It consists of burette, leveling bottle, this is a leveling bottle, and three pipettes to absorb CO2, O2 and CO. These pipettes are interconnected by means of manifold fitted with cocks. These three are cocks. Each pipette is also fitted with a number of small gas tubes to increase the surface area within the pipette. The measuring burette is surrounded by a water jacket. So this is water jacket to keep the temperature and density of gas constant. The first pipette contains caustic soda KOH which absorbs carbon dioxide. Here the KOH is the caustic soda which absorbs carbon dioxide, and the second pipette contains pyrogallic acid to absorb oxygen content of the gas, and the third one contains cuprous chloride to absorb carbon monoxide. Further, the apparatus is also equipped with three-way cock to connect the apparatus either to gases or to the atmosphere. Now, how this ORSAT apparatus works? A sample of gas, here the sample of gas is drawn in the measuring burette by lowering the leveling bottle. The sample of the flue gas is taken as 100 cc and any excess gas is expelled to the atmosphere via three-way cock. The cock A is opened, first cock A is opened and the flue gas is first passed through the first pipette containing KOH, where CO2 component of the gas is absorbed. The process is repeated several times to ensure complete absorption of CO2 in the KOH solution. The leveling bottom is then lowered to suck the gas back in the measuring burette. The difference in the level of the gas gives the percentage of CO2 by volume in the flue gases. Now the cock A is closed. The procedure is repeated with the second and third pipettes by opening cocks B and C. And the volumetric percentage analysis of O2 and CO2 in the flue gases is measured. When the percentage of CO2, O2 and CO have been determined, then the remaining gas in the sample is assumed to be nitrogen N2. The Orsat apparatus gives the volumetric analysis of dry flue gases since steam is condensed at atmospheric temperature. In order to get good approximation, the flue gases must be passed through the absorption pipettes in the same sequence as discussed before. Nowadays, we are not using Orsat apparatus to measure these gases. We have electronic probes and sensors in order to analyze the flue gases, which we are going to see in the next slide. So flue gas analysis is performed by inserting a probe into the flue of the furnace or boiler, etc. between the last heat exchanger and draft diverter or any source of makeup air that could enter the flue that did not pass through the combustion process. This is known as in situ testing. It is also necessary to take a combustion air temperature measurement or ambient temperature if that is the source of combustion air. Depending on the gas being measured, most probes today are either infrared or some sort of electrochemical. Not all gases are directly measured by all meters. Some values are calculated based on the gases that are measured and then factored based on input fuel properties. Not all analyzers use in situ probes. Some units pump flue gases through a tube to the instrument. This is more typical of continuous monitoring equipment and for very large systems where it is not easy to reach a spot in the flue to insert a probe or locate a portable meter. The tube may need to be heated in order to keep the product to be measured from condensing out, such as NO2, SO2 and HCl. In other cases, the flue gases must be cooled and dried to prevent moisture damage to the probe. Instruments use a device called a Peltier cooler, which is an electrochemical device that produces a cool surface that condenses any moisture out of the flue gas before it reaches the measuring sensor. Probes and sensors do not last forever. Some electrochemical sensors are consumed by the measurement process and others will wear out with use as they are exposed to high temperatures and corrosive gases. IR sensors, that is infrared sensors, are therefore becoming more popular for many applications, but they are more expensive but always as accurate and are affected by dirt, fogged lenses and other applications issues with where and how they can be used. Steady progress will likely reduce or eliminate most of these issues. Measurement values are either provided in terms of part per million ppm or percentage depending on the size of the reading. Large numbers such as oxygen and carbon dioxide are generally provided in percentage and small numbers such as NOx and carbon monoxide are provided in terms of ppm. So if there are large number is there such as oxygen or carbon dioxide, they are generally provided in terms of percentages. But if there are small numbers are there, then such as NOx and carbon, they are provided in terms of ppm, parts per million. So here the table shows the ppm with respect to the percentage. The second table shows from a Modure portable flue gas analyzer details. It is used here because it illustrates the type of sensors or probe used for several common gases and the type and accuracy of the measurement it provides. So here the gases measured by infrared sensors. The first table shows that measures the parameters CO, CO2, NO, SO2, CH4 with respect to the infrared sensors, and here the range, resolution, accuracy, lower detection limit, reaction time, all are given in this table with respect to the infrared sensors. If we are going for electrochemical sensors, we are going to measure in the volumetric concentration O2, NO2, H2S, chlorine, hydrogen, and with respect to that the table like range, resolution, accuracy, lower detection limit and reaction time. So that is about the electrochemical sensors. Again, the temperature measurements, the thermocouple, thermistor is used, and according to that their parameters are there. So calculated parameters, CO, CO2 calculated in terms of range, resolution and accuracy. Measured pressures, so pressure measurement devices are also there. So most instruments have internal memory that store readings for later downloading to a computer. Also some include printers to produce hard copy reports in addition to the stored information. Now the next slide is about the impact on efficiency. The most common measurement for the purposes of efficiency are oxygen or carbon dioxide. So here the oxygen is there and carbon dioxide is there, and temperature. So for a given fuel type, it is possible to calculate the percent of oxygen if CO2 is measured, or to calculate CO2 if oxygen is measured. So from both, one we need to have oxygen, either oxygen or carbon dioxide, to calculate another one. Another common example or indicator is CO. Here the CO is, if oxygen is high enough, there won't be any significant CO. Here if you see the oxygen, if is high, no CO will be there. Measurable CO means the unit is star for the oxygen, or there is something very wrong with the flame. The oxygen or CO2 measurement along with the temperature of the flue gas and the combustion air temperature are the needed variables to determine combustion efficiency. Electronic instruments are programmed to calculate and display efficiency directly. In order to see the effect of excess oxygen on combustion efficiency, or to manually calculate efficiency, we need to go for fuel gas analysis table for natural gas. So that is impact on the efficiency of these gases. So what will be the impact on the environment? The emission of primary concern from the combustion of natural gas is NOx. We all know that. Typically uncontrolled nitrogen oxides from natural gas boilers are 70 to well over 100 ppm. Regulations in India have tightened substantially over recent years, requiring some boilers to operate at less than 9 ppm. Several other states and countries have requirements for under 50 ppm for large boilers. So that is impact on the environment of these gases. We need to understand that. So we will stop here. We will continue with the next chapter in the next lecture. Thank you.